Hiya, welcome to Darren in the studio. Thanks for swinging by for another video. I'm a little bit late actually with this particular video. I'm recording this on the 4th of March 2024, and although we had an extra day in February, I've been waiting a little bit to do my February roundup of purchases and acquisitions for that particular month. Like I said, I've been waiting for something to come in, and it came today, which is really great. Although I ordered it ages and ages and ages ago as a what do you call it? I can't remember what it's called now. A pre-order, and it just never turned up. They couldn't deliver it, but we'll get to that in a bit. So this is our February 2024 roundup of what I've been buying and sort of getting hold of. We've got a few different sort of things here. We've got some charity shop buys, we've got some new releases, we've got some brand new things, sort of a mix of genres as well. And I think this is a pretty good, as a lot of my monthly roundups are, it's a pretty good representation of the kind of music that I like, which would just be anything really. So we're going to start off, they're all in alphabetical order. We're going to start off with this particular band. This is a band called Cheap and Nasty. I picked this CD up in a charity shop in Ashby-de-la-Zouch, Leicestershire. When I was going to visit my mum, I dropped into the local charity shop. This album is from, I've got the old glasses on, this is from 1991, I think. It is 1991. It's on the China label, China Records. This is Cheap and Nasty. This is Nasty Suicide's other band from Hanoi Rocks. And this is a nice little album. Got plenty of songs on this one. 14-track album on, like I say, on the China label. Nice little original 1991 CD. You will have seen on the back end of last year I showed you some Cherry Bombs releases that I also bought from a second-hand shop on vinyl. And this is Nasty Suicide, who was also a member of the Cherry Bombs as well. Cheap and Nasty. The album is called Beautiful Disaster. Good little album actually, good stuff. Next up, Ace Frehley. You know this one. This is an album called Live Into... What's that you're saying? What's that? You're expecting 10,000 volts? Well, let's do this first, because this is in order. This is Live Into the Night. Nice little double album, this, with really nice archive pictures and also a nice little write-up here. This is recorded in Milwaukee at the Summerfest, June, 29th of June 1987, originally broadcast on 93 WQFM radio. It's one of those radio broadcast releases. It's on the Rocks Vox label. Nice little double album on red vinyl. I'll show you the vinyl. There you go. Really good sound quality as well. Mixture of it's mostly the first Frehley's Comet album when it comes to the material included. I don't know if you want to pause the video and have a look at the track listing. Like I said, really nice artwork on this. A lot of these radio broadcast albums, I think anyway, tend to have sort of like the wrong photographs of the wrong period and stuff like that, especially when it comes down to Kiss. They're always completely wrong with the photographs. This has got some really great stuff on it. Like I say, a mixture really of Ace's solo album from '78 and the Frehley's Comet first album, and plus a few sort of Kiss classics included. Kiss classics include Cold Gins on here, New York Groove, which I know wasn't Kiss, but with his Kiss solo album. Shock Me's on here, Deuce, Rocket Ride, plus some great songs, like I say, from the first Freeless Comet album. I'll give you another shot of the inside. Live Into the Night. Bought this at the back end of February, and it came within a few days. Good album. Get a chance, pick that up. Next, here's that album that has only just come today, and I bought it ages and ages ago on a pre-order, and got a message from Amazon saying we can't deliver it. Sorry about that. We'll let you know. And they still haven't. And it's the 4th of March now, so this album's been out over a week. They still haven't come with a release date. I originally bought this album on CD because it was like a tenner or something like that for a brand new CD, which I thought was pretty good. But it didn't come, so I kind of pulled the trigger on the vinyl version and bought this from HMV, the online store, of course. This is the one you were waiting for. This is 10,000 volts. This is the black vinyl version of it. It seems everything's out on coloured vinyl nowadays, and a black vinyl version seems to be the more sort of limited of them. 10,000 volts is the album. Got the download when I was supposed to get it, when the album came out, on the day it came out. Got the download, and I've been listening to it on my phone, and I really, really like this album. When I first heard the title track, 10,000 volts, which came out a couple of weeks before the album, I wasn't that impressed. I thought it was a little bit sort of cheesy, but I've been listening to it and I think it's really, really great. Gonna do a one-off video about this album, so I'm not going to say too much about it, apart from it's here, I've got it, and we'll upload a special video on 10,000 volts in a couple of days. Okay, so Ace Frehley, 10,000 volts, it's here. Don't know when the CD is going to arrive. Next up, talking of Kiss things, how about this? Marina bought me this. We were in a nice little record shop in Melton Mowbray in Leicestershire. Nice little shop called Love. And if you get a chance and you're in that area, and check it out. And this was there. This cost Marina 20 odd quid. This is Gene Simmons and the picture disc of his 1978 solo album. Before you get all excited, this is not an original 1978. This is one of the reissues that came out in 2006. These solo album picture discs were made in Russia, and this is on the it's on the Casablanca label, but it's Leith Limited, I think that's what it is. I can't see it in this light, it's pretty poor light in here. But yeah, Gene Simmons solo album. The difference between these, as my memory serves, the original solo albums, of course, had the picture of the member on side one, and then on side two they looked like this with the 4 albums on them, but this doesn't. This has just got the same picture on both sides. Gene's 1978 solo album, and I did actually play this because my original 1978 solo album is framed with the other solo albums. I did actually play this, and like all picture discs, they never sound great, do they? But it did remind me how great Gene's solo album is. I love all the Kiss solo albums, and I must do a ranking video and talk about the Kiss solo album. So, a reissue of Gene's 1978 solo album, the picture disc. Okay, next up, a band that I've only sort of got singles of, and I might pick up their albums because I do like this band. This is Los Lobas. This is the One Time One Night 12-inch single. It's also got River of Fools on it. Anne Selma is on here, and Don't Worry Baby. Produced by T-Bone Burnett and Los Lobas, so you can't really go wrong. Got a nice little pedigree with this. One Time One Night, Los Lobas, 12-inch single. Picked this up in a charity shop. I think it was about £1, something like that. Next up, an album which I used to have on cassette, and I don't know what happened to it. I think it was a home recorded cassette and it probably failed on me, so I threw it away. This is Jimmy Nail. This is Jimmy Nail's album Crocodile Shoes, and I laugh, and I shouldn't, because there's absolutely nothing wrong with this album. It's a really, really good album, this is. Got some great tracks on it. Crocodile Shoes, the title track's great. Calling Out Your Name's good. My favourite on this album is Cowboy Dreams. It's a great little record. But if you get a chance, this is one of those albums that you find in charity shops all the time. If you get a chance and you see this, pick it up, because I don't think you'll be disappointed, honestly. Jimmy Nail's Crocodile Shoes. This is 80, I'm guessing 89, but I can't see it anyway because it's far too small. 94. God, I was miles out. Nice little original on the East West Warner Brothers label. Jimmy Nail, Crocodile Shoes. Check it out if you can. And Craig, if you're watching, you should check this album out. It's all right. Next up, this is a funny album, and I was just looking on eBay, as you do, and I think I put in Alice Cooper, and this came up. This is Ian Pace's Sunflower Super Jam, recorded live at Albert Hall, at the Royal Albert Hall in London, 2012. A lot of big stars on this album. Features Alice Cooper, Brian Auger, Brian May, Bruce Dickinson, Ian Pace, John Paul Jones, Mark King, The Temperance Movement, Ulrich John Roth, and many, many others. Nice little album, this, actually, recorded live. Double CD package. CD1 is the audio, and CD2 is the DVD. I haven't watched the DVD yet, but it's got some great tracks on here. It really has some real classics. Wheels on Fire, Rock and Roll, Something About You, Lessons in Love, Emerald, Black Knight, Since You've Been Gone, Elected, School's Out, Smoke on the Water. Some really good stuff on here. And this, literally, even on eBay, it cost me just a couple of quid, something like that. And it's in absolute mint condition. This is out on the Ear Music label, which I think Alice Cooper was signed to at the time. Some really good stuff on here. Ian Pace's Sunflower Super Jam. Next up, talking a jam, here's a classic album which I've never owned, and this is the only thing I have owned by this particular band, and it's a real classic album. How about some Pearl Jam? This is the Classic 10 album from, I'm going to guess, at 1994. I can't remember. And this album came out. It's probably not. I can't see. I need a magnifying glass. 1992. This is a nice little original Epic label original. Pearl Jam, the 10 album. Of course, you know the songs on here. Everyone knows this album. Even Glow, Alive, Black, Jeremy. Some of the hits that were on here. Pearl Jam's 10. This was a quid. Next up, this is a newish album. This is a band that I bought their first two albums and really liked them, and then they sort of fell off the radar. But they've been doing more music, more new music, and they've been doing gigs in and around the United Kingdom. This is Romeo's Daughter. This is their latest album. This album's called Slipstream. This, of course, still features Lee Matty here, the lead vocalist, and the guitar player, whose name has gone out my head, Craig Joyner. Craig and Lee were original members of Romeo's Daughter, and this band's great, honest, really, really good album. This one, really like it. Pause it for some information on the tracks. Of course, they had a big hit with a song called Wild Child. Or I say they had a big hit. Heart did a cover of Wild Child, which was on their first album, and it sort of, they went absolutely stratospheric. Is that the right word? Stratospheric with Fame. and lots of money and all that kind of stuff. And then their second album came out, Delectable, in about 1992, and they say that everybody hated it. They didn't. I really liked that album. I thought it was great. Check out Romeo's Daughter, Slipstream, their latest album. This is 2023, I think. Yeah. Okay, here's an artist which I've got a couple of things of, and this is an artist that is someone who I'll always buy if I see her stuff in sort of second-hand shops and stuff like that. This is Buffy St Marie. This is her Moonshot album from '72, I think it says. Yeah, RCA, on the RCA label, RCA Records, through Vanguard. This is a nice little original 1972 Buffy St Marie Moonshot. I'll show you the vinyl. Really, really good album, this. This was from the same shop that Marina bought me the Gene Simmons album, the picture disc album. Great condition. The sleeve has seen better days, and somebody's written on it, which is always a bit annoying, isn't it? Someone's put some pen marks on here. But Buffy St Marie, if you see any of her stuff around, then pick it up. I know I'm going to be picking up some more of her stuff. I thought I was going to like this album. I thought, yeah, I'll like this album. It's worth the money. It was only a couple of quid. But actually, I absolutely love it. I've played it loads and loads of times. Buffy St Marie, Moonshot. Next up, we're getting to the end of it now. Somebody that you see loads of this guy's stuff in charity shops and second-hand shops, and I don't know why people want to get rid of it, because I think he's brilliant. This is Rod Stewart. This is an album called, what's this album called? Blood Red Roses is the album. It's got a little crack on it here, but I can live with that. Rod Stewart, Blood Red Roses. Got some great tracks on here. I don't think any of these songs were big hits or anything like that, but it's got some good stuff on it. This is out on the Decca label. I know he was signed to Warner Brothers for a long time. This is on the Decca label. Nice little original. What year would this be? It's relatively recent, within the last sort of 10 years. I can't see. Rod Stewart, Blood Red Roses. This was, again, I think this was about £1, something like that. Next up, and this is our final record. We've spoke about Ace Frehley, and you know, he is the original spaceman. How about a real spaceman? How would that be? Would that be cool? Here's a record I picked up in a charity shop in Melton Mowbray after we'd been into the Love Store record shop. And this is a strange album, and as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to have it. Check this out. This is on the Wing label through Philips Records, and this is called The Flight of Friendship 7, The Astronaut, a dramatic interpretation of the first history-making probe into space. And it's basically a would-be astronaut. It's not John Glenn, although this is John Glenn. There's pictures of him here on the back. There were numerous astronauts, or would-be astronauts, that were sort of given the test to be an astronaut and fulfill this particular challenge, I suppose. I don't know what you'd call it. But they didn't make it. So the guy that narrates this is one of the guys that took part in the astronaut testing. And it takes you through how the first flight came about, how they went about choosing the astronauts that would eventually do it, including John Glenn. And I thought it was going to be classical music and sort of like a Planets kind of thing, but it's not. It's all spoken word, and it gives you some audio from that very first flight of the Americans above on Friendship 7 capsule. There he is, John Glenn, getting into the capsule This is 19. I think this is actually a reissue of it, but I think it's 1962. 1962 rings a bell. It shouldn't, because it's 1964. There's the original label. But I think this is like an early 70s sort of repress of it. And originally it was issued as a child's sort of, how can I put it, documentary kind of record, really. Really interesting album. This on Discogs, this goes for like nothing to like 20-30 pounds, but it's well worth it. Again, it cost me about £1 from a charity shop, and it's well worth a listen. The story of Friendship 7, John Glenn going into space for the very first time. That's it. Talk about finishing on a high note. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. You know the deal by now. Watch the other videos. We're gonna do, like I say, we're gonna do a special on the Ace Frehley album, so hopefully I'll sort of do that probably after recording this one, and then I'll upload it in a couple of days, so hang on for the 10,000 volts review. Until that time, look after yourselves, look after each other, and we'll see you in the studio for another video very, very soon. Ta-da.